7 years ago, August 2011. We've been trying to have a baby for the last 3 years, and we just kept on thinking that it was just a matter of time that we would get pregnant. So while our friends were having their first baby and then second baby in the family, we were just wondering what is going on, why is it so difficult? My husband decided to get his sperm checked, and we found out that he had some issues with sperm quality and quantity. So that was a real setback for us because, as you guys know, I'm getting older. I'm 36. My husband's also 36. And I feel like as we get older, we have like a little bit less energy to run after a little kid. So because my husband has difficulties, we decided to see an IVF doctor. IVF stands for in vitro fertilization. So it requires science to step in with medicine to collect my eggs and manually insert a sperm into the egg to fertilize it. So on our first visit to the IVF doctor, they did an ultrasound and they found out that I have plenty eggs. Apparently my mom and my grandmothers have given me an amazing gift. An amazing gift of having children even later in life. My grandmothers both had children all the way until their late 40s naturally in Vietnam. And they've produced, healthy kids. So I'm fortunate that we have a lot of good quality eggs, and also my body is receptive to holding an egg too. So I think my grandma up there, she must be watching me. So we started the IVF treatment at the beginning of this year in February. It requires a round of drugs that stimulate my eggs so that all 28 of the egg follicles that I have would be maturing all at the same time, which is unusual because women normally only drop one mature egg every month. But since this is in vitro fertilization, they were trying to increase the quantity that they can collect. So they were pumping me full of a lot of estrogen and a lot of maturation medication. And it was a lot. I didn't feel like myself. I felt sick a lot. But we got through it, and my doctor was able to retrieve, I think the number was something like 18 eggs. Oh, and I forgot to mention each of the 28 eggs or something were growing to the size of 10 millimeters each, 10 to 13 millimeters. So each egg was a half an inch. So if you can imagine, like over 20 eggs, 20 little eggies in my stomach, and each one of them is blowing up to half an inch. It just created a lot of pain. So, I was ready. I was ready for the doctor to take the eggs out. And we were able to get a fair number of eggs out. They took out, I believe, 18. Of those 18, 11 were mature. those 11 mature eggs and inseminated them with my husband's sperm. 8 of them were able to accept the sperm, and out of the 8, 6 of them passed the genetic testing. So in that one collection of eggs, we have our whole family. We have 6 great quality little eggies that I can use at a later time to create our family. I'm so excited. And it was really tough sometimes, you know. All of the drugs makes you especially emotional. You start thinking of what can go wrong. You start thinking about what if this doesn't work out? What if none of them survive? What if we can't have a family? And I just started you just go down this spiral, this depressive cycle of thinking, because I also am the kind of person that wants to prepare for the worst. So it was really, really hard emotionally. And I think some of the comments in March, they were saying that my face was getting fatter, and they were commenting really negative things. But I think that those people didn't realize that I was undergoing so much medication and hormones, and it made me feel bloated and sick all the time. And I was trying to stay positive and trying to just make videos and try to connect with you guys, because you guys really helped me feel loved and feel okay if this IVF cycle didn't work out for us favorably. And I just want to tell you guys I really appreciate your support. It was so hard. I can't explain how I felt when I would see my friends have their second baby, and we would have reunions around Christmas time, and they would bring all their kids over, and my husband and I were the only ones who didn't have kids yet. And of course I'm happy for them, because their kids are so adorable, and I love playing with them and babysitting them, but I just never knew if it would ever be us who had the kids. When would my husband and I have that chance to have a little kid to tuck in at night and to read books to? My husband is such an amazing man. I really think that it would just be such a loss to society if he can't raise a little guy like him, because he's an amazing person who's accomplished so much, and he's so patient and compassionate and strong. And yeah, it was a pretty dark place at the beginning of the year. So and there's also this stigma of talking about IVF. If somehow, I think a lot of women don't talk about it. I think it's becoming more and more acceptable to talk about, but still, among my friends, I've only discussed it with maybe 2 of my friends, and those are the people who are also going through IVF, but I've never mentioned it to anybody else, because I just don't want anyone to judge me or my husband for our inability to have kids just naturally. So finally in April, we were scheduled to have the doctor implant our little egg. We decided to go with 1, not twins, and that was, excuse me, did I say April? It was planned for April, but insurance, it's complicated in the US. Insurance decided not to cover it, so we were in a battle for about 2 months. It set us back. We were pushed back to This is being filmed in August, by the way, August 19th. So, we finally had an implantation date for July, and we had the little egg implanted. I wasn't filming anything. I was just lying on my couch on bed rest because the doctors had to take it really easy for the first few days to allow the little embryo to implant. And today I'm 7 weeks pregnant. At our last doctor's visit, my husband has come to every single doctor's visit since, and it's been a weekly checkup, but last week we heard the heartbeat for the first time. Yeah, it was, my little baby is only the size of a grape, I think, but it has a heartbeat. Yeah, it was really cool to see. Yeah. So, we haven't told my parents yet. We're gonna go visit them very soon, and I'm gonna tell them that they have a little grandchild coming. My due date is April 3rd of 2019. So, you guys know before my parents do. Anyways, thanks so much for listening.